In the previous video, we generated some random data that comes very close to lying on a line, but doesn't exactly lie on a line. And I want to show you how we can find the slope and the y-intercept of this, of the true line that this data comes from. And so we're not going to find the values exactly. We're just going to find estimates for these values. And so we want to find an estimate for this negative 14.5, which is the y-intercept, and we want to find an estimate for this 79, which is the slope. So let me go ahead and copy this data and just run it again, make sure it's still there. Okay, and because we're using random state equals, and then I'm using the same value each time, this data, like the m and the points, are always the same. Okay, and so here is how we can estimate this value m and this bias using scikit-learn. So we say from sklearn.linearModel, import linear regression. And notice how this uses capital letters, unlike make regression, which uses lowercase letters. You should think of this linear regression as a class of object in scikit-learn, whereas you should think of this make regression as just some function. And so how does this linear regression work? Well, we first have to instantiate an instance of this class. So like make an object that's a linear regression object. And I don't think we need to assign any input values to this constructor. So if I check what's the type of this REG, it is of type linear regression from the scikit-learn library. Okay, great. And eventually, we're going to use this coefficient attribute to try to find what is the slope that we secretly know is 79 approximately. We're going to use this coef attribute of the reg object. And so if I try it now, it doesn't work. Also, for finding what is the bias or what is the y-intercept, we're going to use this intercept attribute. Okay, notice the underscore at the end. Okay, but both of these give me an attribute error that says there's no attribute coef, no attribute intercept. But let me show you how we can get scikit-learn to calculate those. We can say reg.fit. And so we need to have both the inputs, which are stored in this x, as well as the outputs, which are stored in this y, okay, when we're doing this fit procedure. Okay, and now if I try reg.coef, and you can see it's very close to that true value of 79. It's not exact, it's just an estimate, but very close. And if I try reg.intercept, okay, not quite as close. The true value was negative 14.5, but still approximately the same. Okay, it was off by about 2. And so this procedure we just did is the general procedure we're going to use in scikit-learn, where we first import the class of object. Here we import linear regression. Then we create an instance of that class. Okay, and then we fit the data. Okay, we fit the instance, so we fit this linear regression object using the data that we have. And because this is this linear regression, it's a supervised machine learning problem, we need to have labels, and those labels are these like true outputs of y. And so that was just a quick video showing how we can estimate the slope and the y-intercept of some data, even if it doesn't perfectly lie on a line, using scikit-learn's linear regression.